Okay, I'm gonna mosey around the stage. So, good to see everybody. Thanks for coming. So my name is Stan Bashmashnikov. You say it in 3 parts, not that hard. And I'm with FanDuel. So I lead our MarTech team. I wanted to showcase to you guys marketing tech and the sports betting world. This is definitely leaning more towards like MarTech and nerdy stuff. So you can tune out for that if you want, or you can tune in. But just to jump right in, right? FanDuel has been around since 2014. So you guys probably know us from the fantasy sports days, right? That's our primary product that's been around the longest, and most of our audience comes from that product. There was a law that was passed in 2018 called PASPA that essentially made sports betting legal and up to the states to figure out how to do so, right? So we launched a sports book, we launched a casino, and then our FanDuel Racing product has been around now for about three or 4 years. We have over 3 million active users. That is growing. We are live in 20 states for the sports book and 5 states for the casino. Fantasy is about 45 states. It's an interesting space, as I'm sure you guys all know, because every state is nuanced and every state is different. So the way that I have to handle MarTech and all of the tools in the MarTech stack is very nuanced, right? Because you have to figure it out state by state. So I like to use this slide just to kind of reframe where MarTech sits in the org, right? When you think of marketing technology, some people think of like, oh, there are people on the product side, there are product managers who build stuff. Other people might think, oh, they're on the marketing side and strictly doing like product marketing, right? We really sit in the middle. Like, it sounds super corny, but we are a bridge between product and marketing. And the way to think about it is like we think about our customers first, right? So if the approach to the overall value of the customer, by the strategy teams, the product teams, the data engineering teams, is how do we win their hearts or minds when it comes to value, right? And then like the go-to-market teams, try to like actually figure out what kind of content should we make. It's our job to figure out how do we enhance the overall experience for the customer with our tools, right? Product builds, data team builds as well, right? All the content's there. We create the overall experience. We can automate it. We can make it personalized, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to frame that up in that way because it is truly a team that sits in the middle between product and marketing. Okay, so what is marketing technology? By a show of hands, have people heard of MarTech or the word MarTech? And yeah, I figured, probably a stupid question. We like to think of MarTech with these 4 core, pillars, right? The first thing is, to have a best-in-class MarTech stack. I know that sounds very, very obvious, but as we all know, the tech space evolves, changes every 3 months, right? If not, every month. So it's incumbent on us to, always look at, okay, what is the perfect mix of a CRM tool, AI and ML, a CDP, a CMS. We're constantly shifting things around and changing because it's what the customers want, and we're trying to frame back to what's going to make the overall experience for the customer better, easier. Where are they going to get the best experience when it comes to making a bet or getting a promo. So that is kind of our core thing, right? Always think about the best tools that are out there and the tools out there that are really changing things, like MI, right? The second thing is we always automate. We try to automate everything. And it's not as simple as, there's a manual task, somebody's spending X amount of hours, let's automate it, right? That's a very simple way to think about it. We try to automate like an acquisition offer or, somebody's like day 1 journey, day 10 journey, day 30 journey, if we're trying to reactivate them, right? Everything is automated and it's based on like real-time triggers. So not to give away any of the sauce, right? But there's real-time mechanisms that know what people are doing at certain moments in the app, and then based on that, you get served something, an email, a push, et cetera, et cetera. So we think about automations in, again, making the overall experience better for the customer. The third point is ops. Like I was thinking about how to talk through, like this one, because we've definitely changed it for this year. You can have shiny, nice tools on your shelf, but if you don't figure out how to operationalize it and do it in a very efficient way, it means nothing, right? So we work very closely with our product friends, to figure out, like, if you're going to build this, like if you're saying you're going to build this, you should build it because we know how to make it come to life. And then the fourth thing is just a single source of truth. So this one's probably been around for like many years. We're not the first company to have this on a slide, as a bullet point, right? In sports betting, it has become, there's an exponential amount of data, and as our space just grows and there's more ways to bet, different types of bet, different types of markets, right? There's more noise within our own ecosystem, right? Our data, right? There's more things coming in. It's incumbent on us to figure out single sources of truth that the CRM team can use, that marketing can use. So we're always thinking about it in this sense, right? If there's 15 different ways to bet, what is the one way we want to visualize or show that to the customer or to the marketing team? So those are our four core pillars. The journey to get to those four wasn't always so easy, and is actually fairly recent, right? So again, this is probably too wordy of a slide, and that's my bad. But back in 2019, we were doing everything manually, right? Like uploading, documents into tools. Nothing was automated. Nothing was real time. 2020 was kind of like the tipping point for the team. We were a team of 2 people. Back in 2020, we launched some automations. Maybe our first campaign, and really accelerated in 2021 into now, right, where we have many automations, real-time events. The best way to put it is, we've reached parity for all four core, for the 4 products that we have, right? Because every single one was different. It was built on a totally different stack. We're finally at a place now where they're all the same. Oops. There we go. And the reason why I show that is because the investment over the past 3 to 4 years by the company has actually yielded like awesome results, right? Like that whole journey that I just showed isn't for nothing, right? So the way to read this is from the bottom up. We have data storage, a global data platform. We partner with third-party providers that have live odds and sports data and all the nooks and crannies, and all of these things, right? Pretty much started, like in 2020, right? They get pumped up into our analytics teams, right? So we know how to ad serve, web analytics, tags, and then again, the secret sauce are the value segments. We've created these value segments that are automated, and they have data models. They have your 12-month value models, your lifetime value, and pretty much all the secret sauce happens in these segments, and then goes upwards into the customer. So it tells the customer how they should be messaged, when they should message, what should the message be, right? We're all about like how do we orchestrate things in a much more fluid way, and really it's the right message to the right person at the right time. Like I think if you take away anything from this slide, that's what we care about the most, right? Like the MarTech team tries to serve that, right? The right message to the right person at the right time. So again, all of these things, like, I'm not going to read through these, but like we're automating, 95% of campaigns. All the generosity, those crazy promos and offers that you guys have seen in literally every single advertising medium that's out there, like that's now done in real time. Whereas like 2 years ago, like none of it was done, like in real time. So my way of saying that MarTech is important and the company has really, put their money where their mouth is for it, and like, we've gotten these results. And obviously, like this is not possible with without tools and technology like, Braze, MI, other partners, that we currently work with, right? Because you need that mix in order to have these, types of stats. How am I doing on time? Okay. All of that, so all of that being said, to where we've gotten to, right? In 2023, we're trying something new. I wanted to throw in like a we're trying something new slide, so this is my shot at it. This is called an X-Fun model. So X-Fun is a hip, cool way to say cross-functional team. And the idea is very similar to a squad or a pod, which I'm sure like you guys have heard. So we've really structured things, throughout all the different groups within FanDuel in this way, right? We're the MarTech team, but there's other teams as well, and we work with all the other ops teams, to pretty much tackle, a problem space, right? Maybe the problem is we don't have enough like real-time data. Just gonna like make some like some stuff up. We don't have enough real-time data, right? How do we tackle that as a problem space? How do we get more, right? So the MarTech team, works with all these different teams, to pretty much figure out how to make that come to life. We have our own charter, we have our own roadmap. The purpose of it is to increase the velocity, right? Like one team can only do so much, and then you can partner with the product team, with the engineering team on the other side of the house, and that can get so much done. We really think that this cross-functional model across many different pods, many like certain teams, and each pod has a certain thing that they do, right? So there's a single person from the ops team, from the CRM ops team, from the MarTech team, and they tackle a problem. We think that's the best way to like increase the frequency of getting something done. So we're trying it. Maybe next year, if I'm talking to you guys again, I can tell you how this went. Okay, so that is the marketing tech. What are we doing? What does it mean? How does it work? Stuff. Obviously, because the lovely folks, at MI asked me to speak, I wanted to showcase some of the things that we're doing with them. We've been partnered with MI since 2017, 2018, so it's actually been a long time, which is a big thing because tools come and go, companies change, right? Like we've seen a lot of value out of having these tools. These are just some really quick examples of how we use things. So, obviously content, journeys, data. We have a year in a review. It's a dynamic content module that gets sent out, every end of year. Let me just jump to the next slide because that actually shows it a little bit better. So if you can see on the left-hand side, we pull data from our data warehouse of, maybe, favorite sport, favorite athlete, if you bet on something more than, like anything else. And then that gets served to you, in a, here's your top plays of 2021. Here's your top plays of 2022. And we've seen really good rates with it, right? The open rates have soared. There's so many more users that have, actually opened the email and then placed the bet because of that email. So we're seeing a lot of value out of it. I would say that, we've done email, and we're going to test mobile. I think that in 2023, mobile is really like our next frontier, with this tool. So it's really exciting for us. I would also say, let me just jump to the next slide. What we're working on is a countdown. What is over there? Dynamic headers. So like when you first log in, it will tell you like your favorite sports on the top, right? And it will bump those left and right based on what you just bet on. So those are being worked on as well. And then even more things that we're thinking about for the future are social sharing, live polling, barcodes, scratch off. So the ones I want to talk about actually, like the barcode generator for me is actually pretty unique because we have a lot of retail locations, right? Like that's where sports betting started, right? In the physical locations. There's always this problem in the industry of how do we go like omni-channel, right? How do we link the customer that goes into the location to their online identity, right? And know that like, what they're doing online is what they're doing there. So we're gonna test this out, probably this year, to try to link up like and get more info from people who are at the physical locations. Scratch off is also one that's very, very fun because we do a lot of promotions, right? So instead of getting a promo literally as like the subject line, here's $100, scratching off, like we've seen like people actually engage with it and then they want to place a bet because they want to get that experience again. Live polling is interesting. Live polling is more of a CS use case, right? We do all these focus groups and all these like, like we want to hear from our customers as much as possible. And there's no better way to do it than to just give them a poll in their email. So, that one's very, very, very exciting. So these are just some of the things that we're going to be trying, in the future. So yeah, I think that this is actually my last slide, and I have a couple minutes left. Yeah, I mean, I think like to sum everything up, the MarTech space is growing. The sports betting space is obviously growing, as we all know, but the MarTech space is not possible without marketing technology tools, right? Tools that personalize, tools that can send email, tools that can house data, tools that can create audience segments, right? And I think like it's important to stay grounded in that idea. So Movable Link obviously, is part of that thought for us, and will be, for many, many, many more years. So I thank you guys. Appreciate it.